Personal growth and self-development is something I learned about the different personality types, and I've learned that through a variety of different coaches. So, we're all in agreement that we have. Well, I've written those down, depending how you look at it. If I was someone that would drop names, I would say Andy Harrington has it in his book, and he shares. And then they take the original one and then they can just change the wording a little to be able to make sure that copyright laws are also respected. So at the moment it's just funny because very quickly, only because I'm in the process of now looking at wanting to be able to complete what I'm doing today. For all you musicians and creatives out there, if someone comes in and they interrupt you, what happens to the momentum? If you're a salesperson out there and you're in the middle of a pitch and you're speaking to a customer and they are actually being drawn in by your questioning and then somebody interrupts you, it's like that. So when I say it's quickly, it's not because of anxiety or anything like that. Oh, sorry, there's some kind of handover, switch over and lock ends or ends meet or whatever, because I'm in IKEA and that's what tends to happen. And then they just come over the loudspeaker and say that. Anyway, so I'm grateful and thankful for being able to upload this. I'm grateful and thankful because of the fact that I'm sitting on here. So there's the warriors, there's a lover, there's a mother, and there's a queen, and there's a sorceress. So, as I said, those are the different types. Okay, so, and we have to just release what it is in our minds. So when they say loose ends, I think again of music, I think again of places, I think of my children, because I just do. The area and street names and things like that are by. Anyway, I am grateful for the fact that family are watching this as well, because they know. I'm grateful for the fact that I could look up this morning and I could see my cousins putting up the sunsets and all of the things that they have. I'm grateful because I understand now when I look back, moving forward, how, some people say the dots connect, the pieces come together, the past, the present, the future, all of those. And so the warriors, she kind of broke the pen. Athletic, sort of an Amazonian, and this is where I said the whole thing with the Black Panther with the hat. And the reason is because if I do say that, not looking, and this I've got to be very careful of because of what I stand and I do say, and that is come through for me because of Melbourne. However, what it is more the sense of the spirit of a warrior, the spirit of a warrioress. And then the lover, which again, self-care, sexuality, loving oneself, being confident in oneself by choice, who it is that you wish to be able to share that with. The mother, I think, I've said about that, that's the nurturing, the caring side. Text me when you get home, give me a call to let me know you're okay, and allowing yourself to care and show that care and not be as strict. I suppose that's the warmth and more feminine side. And then the queen. And to be a queen, the kingdom has to be able to respect you, the country or the place. But also, I think also just carrying that. There's, again, I say different songs. That crown can be heavy. There's no doubt about it. And that heaviness, to me, and this is ad hoc, is relatable to that of a gym again. Why? Because there's different weights that you may pick up or different plates to put on the pole, on the actual iron pole bar. However, when you're saying you're carrying a crown and you're keeping your head up, heavy is that crown depends on what it is that you are carrying. Okay, I'm not wanting to use this as an opportunity to preach or to say any of that nature or anything of that nature. What I'm saying is, if you do feel that you're carrying that weight, yes, lay it down, do the meditation or do the prayer, and then in that sense you'll be able to lighten the load, lighten up, and then that lightens the mood because you've actually allowed yourself to place it down. What I'm saying though is that even so, the universe has our back. We do our best and God will do the rest. Either or, same thing with the Buddhist teachings, we go within. But in each of those things, we go within. So it's us that we have to go within. We do our best. This is where I'm at, okay? God will do the rest. But we still need to do our part in it all. And the universe, I've heard it said that is like a satellite that travels around and watches what people do to see whether or not you're serious about it. So how does that then equate to the support or assistance that you're then getting? Again, as I said, I think it just means, the way that I take it, is that all of the heavenly spiritual realms, beings are all watching, and they all seem to be up there. So that's where I was coming from. And the sorceress is, and this again, wherever it is and whatever it is that you believe is your source, I believe the sorceress will receive the power from that source. Some will say the sorceress is a witch. Okay. Some people will say, well, the sorceress could be, a wizard or a magical being, a spiritual being. Again, whatever that is that appeals and resonates with you. So, for myself, it is a connection. A connection to the source is a sorceress. Someone that is declaring that they're Christian is connected to Christ, Christian. So, and someone that's, as I said, spiritual, it's about the spirit rather than the outside. That's my understanding that I'm sharing with you all. That is simply because, as I said, I think I've gone through every single one so well. Maybe not quite all of them yet, but anyway, that's been my day. And maybe you've got something out of that as well. It's also what I chose to share with each of you today for the upload for YouTube, because in my mind everybody's been coming in and the things that have come to me is like, no, you're not the man. And it's like, excuse me, why are these people doing these things and saying this to me? I have received the strength, which I'm very grateful for today, that even just came from the photos that I saw of my family. And I thank God for them. There may not be photos that I have, but the ones that I've seen have been enough. So maybe you're the same. Maybe you're the same. The amount of people that have lost people, get up, as I said, get up and find what they're doing. Look to see what resonates, looks to make a difference. I can only upload this. How is it going to show up? I don't fully know yet. I can visualize it and say what it is that I want to be able to have it as. However, with each and every single one, usually some people will say to you, you've got to burn the boat. There is no backup plan. That's it. You've got to make it. End of. And then others will say, and what I agree with now is that you need to have a backup plan. You need to have 2 or 3 or 4 if you need to, just so that you know that you've got it covered somehow, in some way. So I missed International Men's Day. However, it still reminds me of Alistair. Alistair is actually mentioned in my book as well, which I've been working on today. And the whole reason behind it is that he's got to where he's got to, but he went through what he went through. But he started off as a football player on a pitch. That's what I'm saying. And on that note, as I said, I may share a bit later, but I just thank him for his time, and to all of the people, if you were to say speak from the heart, I'd say International Men's Day or International Women's Day or Valentine's Day is just learning to love the people that we have around us and letting them know, and maybe highlighting it every day in the way that works for you, for being able to save lives in different ways, and being able to do so without it being twisted. It makes a big difference. All right, I'm back to my book, and my book on this one is both, which I'll share a little bit later. And that's what's on my mind. And thank you. I'm grateful to every author that has turned around and said, you know what, this book has changed lives. So some people say you learn from people and not from books. And I will say something that I always said in every single post for those that have followed me from day one. Whatever people may say, what will resonate often does depend to a degree on your circumstances. Have a good day.